Hello, 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 everyone. What is going on? I am here once again with Mr. Scott.
Hello. I've currently got biscuit in my mouth right now.
Fair play. But today we will be reviewing more shows, more cartoons. These aren't one of them is one of my favourite shows. The other two are kind of, or well,
The other two
the,
are good, but one of them's starting to show its age, and actually both of them are kind of showing their age.
yeah. I mean, I haven't watched South Park in like forever. But I've heard the latest season's meant to be all right. And
Yeah,
Family Guy's just pure shit. Like
Family Guy
honestly,
started off good, and now it's just really fallen downhill.
yeah. But let's get it started then. So Family Guy is one of them shows that it was in a time where I know you had some shows years ago like the Jensens and what's it called, Flintstones. Then the Simpsons came along, and seasons 1 to 9, well, especially 3 to 9, were absolutely amazing, peak amazing television. Then Family Guy came along, and it was pretty unique because there hadn't really been. First off, there hadn't been a lot of adult cartoons really surrounding just the family. I know there was King of the Hill, but that wasn't as adult as Family Guy,
Yeah,
was it? Or was it quite
basically
adult?
the family sitcom type shows, as you said, with Flintstones and Jetsons and all that. Then Simpsons came along as a spoof of the family sitcom, and then Family Guy came in as the adult version of Simpsons in
Yeah,
terms of the spoofing the family sitcom.
exactly. And I mean, a lot of Family Guy from series 1 to 5, especially, was pretty damn great. There was some
The
duds.
early Family Guy was actually really good.
Yeah, I mean, there was some duds in series 1 and 2, but
I mean, yeah,
mostly,
you're gonna get that with
mostly,
any series. No
yeah.
series is equality the entire way through.
And
Even
thing,
Avatar had a few hiccup episodes.
yeah, and the thing is with Family Guy, it was 20 episodes per season as well. I know Avatar had 20 episodes per season, but Avatar was a continuous story, and
Yeah,
Family
Family
Guy has,
Guy's an episodic.
yeah, and Family Guy has a 22-minute runtime. And I know obviously Simpsons is 22 minutes as well, but it didn't have the luxury of shows like you know how SpongeBob every episode's 11 minutes and it's 2 episodes.
Hmm.
They were really able to just cram a load of amazing stuff in 11 minutes. And if it was crap, which it wouldn't usually be for series 1 to 3, you move on to the next episode. You only have to sit
Yeah,
there for 11 minutes.
yeah,
And for
exactly.
like double the runtime, it's way harder to do to make consistent stories. And Family
Yeah,
Guy,
the
you're
Family Guy
always,
somewhat does that with cutaway gags to fill that
oh
time.
yeah, I
They
nearly forgot.
that's I think that's one of Family Guy's ways of dealing with the time slot it has is it does a lot of cutaway gags to fill in gaps while they go from scene to scene.
Yeah. What do you think of the cutaway gags overall as
Some
Family
of them are
Guy's
pretty
thing?
good. There are some good ones. So there are, but like later on, it's obvious they're forcing them
Yeah,
just to try and like fill the slot in because they're the problem with shows like Family Guy and Simpsons is after so long, there's nothing really new you can make the characters do,
yeah.
and it's just rehashing stuff you've already done, but not as good.
hmm
The, yeah, like me personally, I think Simpsons should have ended ages ago and kept itself as one of the best, rather than keep going as a fucking zombie that it is now.
Yeah. They probably, in my opinion, they should have ended it around the movie. I think the movie,
Yeah,
although
definitely.
although it was on a decline before it got to the movie, I think the movie was a nice way for it to just go out. All right, this was fun, pretty, great series 1 to 9. After that, a little bit.
Yeah,
But they,
the movie was a good place I think to end it. I agree.
yeah. And the thing is, they had Futurama as well in 2007, so they could have just kept that going for a while. But thankfully, at least Futurama ended where it knew to end, while things like Simpsons and
Futurama had
Family
like
Guy.
5 endings because the
I
show
know.
kept getting cancelled and then uncancelled.
Yeah,
So they had like several like season finals.
yeah.
Though honestly, I'm glad Futurama ended like where it did.
Hmm.
It had like the last like 5 episodes of Futurama are really good
Hmm.
because they wrap up everyone's story
Yeah.
like
Zoidberg
neatly.
finds love again.
Yep, they wrap up everyone's story in a neat little bow before ending the series.
How did they end? I know this is totally off topic, but how did they end everyone else's arc?
Well, with Fry and Leela, time froze, as
Yeah,
we
yeah.
know.
What about the previous episodes?
I'm trying to remember now, because I remember like the last few episodes were dedicated to wrapping up characters. I'm trying to remember it though. It's been ages since I saw Family Guy. Not Family Guy, fucking
Futurama,
Futurama.
yeah.
So a lot of them all seem to be starting with F.
Hmm.
Oh god, I'm trying to remember it now.
It doesn't
I
matter.
don't. I don't
I
remember.
guess
Sorry.
we can
It's
save it
been
for the
in my defense. It's been a fair few years since I last saw Futurama.
yeah we can save it for the Futurama review.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, it gives me a chance to rewatch some of the series for that one.
yeah, I mean the actual proper official ending is pretty great. Really, time freezes. Then the professor comes to the future, and then he's like, "Leela, Fry, let's go back in time and do it all again." Oh, great! And who knows? Things could have gone differently in shit this time round, or things could have gone
Yeah,
even better. Who
I
knows?
feel like that's another one of theirs. We're making it ending in case we don't get uncancelled this time. So they left it open. It's like, okay, if we do get uncancelled, cool, we can continue. If we don't, this is a good place to stop.
Yeah, I mean Bender's Big Score was probably like the best episode ever, in my
Hmm.
opinion. Like the best, those 4 episodes were just
Yeah,
that sort of would have been an amazing ending, but it didn't really wrap everything up.
yeah. That's what I mean. Like Futurama had multiple like series finals because the show kept getting cancelled.
Do you remember the Into Green Yonder ending when they just go into this portal that takes them like
Yeah,
a million years? Like that was an okay ending, but it was a bit like
it,
what? Like
it's
that's
one
it,
of
it's over.
it's one of those. It's hard to wrap up everyone's character arcs and story arcs if the show is suddenly like if you're suddenly told you've got so many episodes left to finish the
Yeah,
series.
I mean
It's kind of
into
hard to like wrap everything up then when that's given the case.
yeah, I mean Into Green Yonder didn't feel like an ending at all. It just sort of felt like some okay episodes, and then sort of
Yeah.
just a rushed, forced ending, which was a bit odd. But there you
Hmm.
go. At least they didn't end it there, thank goodness.
Hmm.
I wouldn't have minded, but it would have been a bit weird.
Yeah. So I find it funny how we were supposed to be talking about Family Guy and we went to Futurama.
Yeah, it's just such a peak show.
Hmm.
But yeah, back to Family Guy. So the cutaway gags, they are. I mean, there's some hilarious ones like the Four Peters. like that was pretty good banter.
Yeah.
I can't remember a lot of them, to be honest. I'm trying to think. I might just look them up quickly, actually. Best Family Guy cutaways. There's some crap ones that are just like mental humour, like just weird things happening out of nowhere.
Yeah. There are a few like that where it's just like you could tell that the cutaway joke was there purely to go to the next thing.
Yeah. The one where it's the tiger. It ain't easy being cheesy. And then he says
Yeah.
about Jenny Lee being the best fucking drummer, and then smashes his thing. Or the drummer for Rush. Sorry, I can't remember exactly who it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was quite funny. When Peter narrates his life, that was pretty good banter. And he's like, "My wife is getting very old now," and then she just whacks him and knocks him out. And he's like, "I woke up in a daze." Yeah, National Geographic fire truck. That one was quite funny. Cookie Monster in rehab was pretty funny. Butt scratcher, butt scratcher, butt scratcher.
Butt scratcher. Butt
Uh,
scratcher.
get your butt scratcher here. Come on. I'm trying to scroll down and find some more. It doesn't matter. Point is, cutaways. A part of me does think they're just really lazy. Like, why can't you just like focus on the actual story instead of, oh no, oh no, oh, oh
What's
no.
up?
I found that. Do you know the Hunting with Dick Cheney one? And Peter
Oh
just
God,
and
I
Peter
know
just
that
gets
one.
shot like a load of times straight away. And he's like, whoops. Uh,
Yep.
what else? Oh, Alan Rickman's answering machine. Kind of alright. 2, 2, 4, 5, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2. Peter's gay alarm. What the hell?
Yeah.
Will Smith rapping. That one was alright, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's it's whatever really. Um, Family Guy, it's best. I mean, Brian and Stu. Oh, something I used to like about it, right, is how it used to poke fun at itself. Like, remember the 100th episode special and Seth MacFarlane just let a load of people come in and absolutely shit on the show and be like, "This is the
Oh
weirdest
yeah, I
show of all
remember that.
time. I don't get this at all. Why the dog? Why?"
It is funny when shows have that meta level to them of they know like things they do that are stupid and they embrace it.
Yeah. I mean, no way in a million years they'd do this now because Seth was so like mentally like, yeah, this show's actually quite good, but I'm gonna let people come in and shit on it. While nowadays he'd be like, oh shit, the show's actually shit. Certain people are going to actually say good constructive criticisms rather than just basic criticisms, so that'll just make us look bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's it. Family Guy have actually got a few episodes that aren't actually all comedy though.
yeah. Which ones?
There's one where Stewie and Brian get locked in a vault
Oh
at the
yeah.
bank. That's one of the episodes I think they made that still has a few jokes but doesn't have any cutaways
Mm-hmm.
and actually like has some elements to it that aren't humor.
Wasn't it just sort of like about character bonding?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really remember it that well. All I remember is that Brian ate Stewie's poo, which was really weird. And
Yeah, that was definitely weird.
and then it was
Um,
mixed. Some people said it was good. Some people said it was awful. So
at the end, the episode's most known for its ending. At the end of the episode, Brian and Stewie have a talk about like why Brian had a gun.
oh
So basically, in Brian's safe deposit box, he had a gun and a bottle of like I don't remember what type of alcohol it was, and a book. And Stewie at the end of the episode actually asked Brian, "Why do you have a gun in there anyway?" And Brian just said that he has it in case he ever decided to commit suicide
yeah.
because, by all accounts, his life doesn't really have meaning.
Yeah, especially at this point in the show, because he's just at that point he was just a massive sleaze piece of shit who was just like trying to hold on to things. Like, do you remember this episode rubs me the wrong way? Sorry to cut off a serious point about Brian. Like, we can go back to that in a sec. But do you remember when he sees his son again, and his son's on this show, and Brian's trying, oh, take my script, son, take my script, oh, and he was using his son's fame to like try and benefit himself instead of trying to bond with his son.
I
That's
think
like
that was
next
after
level.
this episode, so that was when Brian's fully started going to
Heel
this
turn.
realm of irredeemability.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
That is something with Brian is he basically he as the show goes on he enters more and more into this realm of like just being an irredeemable piece of shit.
Yeah, and the thing is, it isn't even entertaining. It's just like bollocks. It's not even like someone like Eric Cartman. It makes sense for him to be the biggest lunatic ever because it's hilarious. But Brian's
Yeah.
just doing it in this annoying lame ass way.
Yeah, like with Eric Cartman, it's made very clear he's a fucking psychopath.
Exactly.
So it makes sense for him to go to the length he does half the time that he does it.
Yeah. And the thing is, Brian never really like. Oh, do you remember the one when he became an estate agent and he kept fucking over Quagmire?
Yeah,
That one was
I do remember
bizarre. That one was so weird. It's just like, what the hell are you doing with yourself, son? You know,
Brian is, by all accounts, a terrible human, and the
Yeah.
show doesn't exactly do much to like persuade you otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, when he became an author of that Wish It Want It Do It, and then he's like, he just fucks over Stewie after he's famous. It's like, what the hell? But yeah, the rip off Quagmire Because oh yeah, he rips off Quagmire right at the he makes it so like that Quagmire goes to the wrong place at the wrong time, so Brian doesn't have to hit. So Brian gets more money out of him. Then Quagmire just whacks him with the lamp and.
Yeah, I remember that. Isn't that where like
teeth.
Quagmire beats the shit out of him or something like that?
No, he just whacks him with the lamp. When he beats the shit out of him is when Brian sleeps with his dad.
Oh right.
But I don't think Brian. That sort of annoyed me. I don't think Brian deserves that. It's not like Brian raped Quagmire's dad. It's just that he slept with him. So I don't really understand it, to be honest.
To be fair though, going on a bit more about Brian, the show pulled probably one of its like biggest manipulative moves when they killed Brian off.
That was strange, wasn't it?
So the idea is they killed him off, but they only killed him off for like 3 or 4 episodes, and then they brought him back.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I say it's a manipulative move is it's basically the show's way of saying we can do whatever we want with Brian now. We can make him as irredeemable as possible, and you lot can't get mad because we'll just kill him off again if you do.
Because everyone was like, I want Brian back because Vinny sucks. But
yeah, exactly. So it's a manipulative trick that lets them basically do whatever they want on the show now with Brian. And the fans can't complain about it now because if they do, they've shown they're not afraid to kill him off and bring in a worse character.
Yeah.
But it is, by all accounts, a shit tactic to do just to get people to, like, put up with you making a character that's, by all accounts, irredeemable.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the thing is, right, all the characters have gone down the shitter, really. Apart from Stewie and Chris, all the characters are just... I mean, Lois is just...
Even Stewie.
Well, he's become a... Like
Stewie started off as, like, this mad genius baby, and now he's just the homosexual baby who can talk.
Yeah, but the thing is, right, at the start, he was just wanting to kill Lois 24/7, but he was just like a generic genius. But when he started talking and like being, I know he's a bit like, I don't know, he just seems like a cool guy. He just seems like a regular guy, really. I know he goes a bit mad sometimes, but I think that's better than just having him being an evil genius. But then even he just turns into like a pervert. Lois pretty much is like a pervert. Quagmire's a full-on rapist. Peter's just an evil lunatic. Joe's made fun of 24/7 for being in a wheelchair. Meg is just a punching bag. Chris, as much as he's not as bad as the others, is just a bit of a dumbass now. And then Stewie's just, yeah, well, I said he's a pervert, didn't I? Cleveland just doesn't really do much. It's just, I know they did bring him
Cleveland
back.
Is Cleveland.
Yeah, he's the only dude who stayed kind of all right. He's the only dude with a woman.
Granted, I think it helped that he left the show for like several weeks.
Well, for ages, yeah.
Yeah, to have his own show that kind of failed.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like a different version of Family Guy, but bizarre. You know.
Yeah.
Kind of like boring, really, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. The Cleveland show.
But it was nice to have loads of Cleveland.
Because
he's an alright guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, all the characters have gone down the shitter. Another episode that rubs me the wrong way. Oh, do you want to talk about Brian like that he was going to shoot himself? Because obviously I cut you off a few.
Oh minutes. Yeah. So it was basically he was explaining it to Stewie that his life doesn't really have meaning. So the idea was that drink was going to be his last drink before he shoot himself. But he did say it was a hypothetical if he ever decided to. Mm-hmm. I think it also helps earlier in that episode that Stewie actually does say that Brian has no meaning.
That's a bit harsh.
Yeah, but it's one of those, the two were mad at each other at the time, so they kind of justify it semi, but it's still pretty harsh considering their friendship.
All they've been through and everything. What did Stewie say at the end to try and comfort him?
I think the way he put it is Brian gives his life meaning, and sometimes that's enough.
Oh, that's cool. I think I remember a bit of that now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll just say some episodes that really rubbed me the wrong way, and then I'll talk about some good episodes. Then we can move on to
Yep.
Futurama. So
You mean
sorry.
Rick and Morty.
Yeah, Rick and Morty.
Futurama's for another review.
So yeah, one episode that rubbed me the wrong way. Not all dogs go to heaven. That was strange because the whole community went mental at Brian for being an atheist. Did this happen in America? Did people get really annoyed at people for not believing?
Yeah, they did.
Oh.
That is
All
actually a legit thing that like people got mad about back in those days.
That's weird because from my experience in Britain, I've sort of got more shit for believing. Like not
In the
not
past,
like Brian.
religion used to be fucking everything.
Yeah, not like
In the
Brian,
past.
by the way. I didn't get people come after me and like, how dare you? How dare you? But like, I did. People were like, well, it's stupid. How can you believe in it? It's stupid. It's stupid. And I said, well, I believe X, Y, and Z. I don't believe in anything bad. I don't believe in having a go at people over nothing. But then some people are like, oh, fair enough. But some people are like, stupid, stupid, stupid. But that's just been my personal experience. You know, I'm sure atheists have had like, well, how can you not believe? Because blah, 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 blah. How do you know? And
Yeah.
whatever.
I think it's one of those, as I said, religion used to be fucking everything.
Yeah.
Not so much nowadays, but it used to be, to a point where it gave the stipulus of to people who were atheists, of like people like really hamming it up on what those type of people are.
Yeah. But the thing is, I never forced anything upon anyone. You know me, Scott. I've never said, oh, well, if you don't believe this, you're going to hell, or if you don't believe this, you're a bad person. I think
But there are some people out there who do like put that on people. It's like, oh, like you don't believe, therefore you're damned to hell, and fuck you.
I mean, I'll just say what I think quickly. I just think no matter what you believe, like if you're a good person, if there is a heaven, you get there. No matter what you believe, if you're a bad person, if there's a hell, you go there.
Yeah.
If you're really bad, if you're a bit selfish and a bit of a tit, you're probably still go to heaven. But I mean, if you like go around shooting people, then you're definitely going to hell if it exists.
One thing I will say about religion is every religion says that if you don't believe in our religion, you're going to hell. By that stipulation, everyone's going to hell.
Yeah, it's a bit. I think what a lot of people need to remember, anyone, whether you believe or not, all these books were wrote ages and ages and ages ago, and people weren't as educated as they are now, and they all had different mindsets. I think you should just try and take the good thing from these books, like, I don't know, be nice to your neighbour, try to help people, be a half decent person, basically common sense in it, you know.
Yeah.
But whether you agree, whether you like the good things from these religious books or don't like the good thing, well, or you just look at the bad parts of the religious books, you're still obviously going to try your best to live by the fundamentals, just be an all right person and just let people get on with their life as long as they're not doing anything horrible. But yeah, so back to Brian. They were all going pistol mental. They were like, how can Brian not believe blah 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 blah? And I think Meg was like, oh, well, I don't really believe that much neither.
Yeah.
But then she becomes a religious extremist and she starts burning these scientific books. And then Brian rolls up and says, Meg, how can you believe? Peter, you've got a smoking hot mom like Lois. And Peter in your family treats you like shit. Therefore, religion's not true. And I get why Brian is acting like that, but that is such a lame-ass way to go about the whole situation. And then Meg's just like, yes, because I'm ugly, I now don't believe. What? Like, that is such a lame way.
Yeah. Like, yeah. To be honest, religion is a very touchy subject to talk about in any kind of media.
Yeah. But it still doesn't excuse the episode being pretty boring anyway and being a bit shit.
Yeah, definitely not.
And I know it's a touchy subject, but South Park nearly got death threats for taking the mick out of everyone. That is just ridiculous. I don't care. You can say that I believe the biggest load of rubbish ever. I'll disagree with you. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to threaten to kill you. Anyone who's threatening to kill each other over religion is... I don't care what you believe, you know, whatever religion you are, I respect you. Or if you're an atheist, I respect you as long as you're a good person. That is. But if you're threatening to kill people over something that might not exist, you're full on evil and lunatic. And if there is a hell, you're probably going there if you're going to kill someone over it. Threatening to kill people, I don't know. That's a bit. You're probably being purgatory if you're threatening to kill people. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I mean, it's just worrying that they're getting death threats. You have to be able to take a joke in life. You just have to be able to take a joke.
Yeah.
You know, South Park take the mick out of everyone at the end of the day.
They do.
But
South Park is honestly really brave because they pull no punches.
Exactly, yeah. You can be agreeing with it 1 minute, and then the next minute it can be totally shitting on your opinion. That's how good it is. But a few more Family Guy episodes that rubbed me the wrong way. The one where Quagmire's sister's getting abused, that was strange. That was so weird. That was like... So this... I have no idea why she was with this guy, but whatever. But Quagmire Joe and Peter go the wrong way about dealing with this situation.
They really do.
Killing the bloke. I mean, the bloke's a piece of shit, but it's not like he killed her or did anything horrific or he just beat her up loads, which is bad. But at the end of the day, either contact the police and get him arrested, talk to him and try and convince him. At most, kick his ass and try and convince Quagmire's sister to leave. Do not resort to going on a camping trip and killing him. And then Quagmire gets choked to death. And he's like, I choke myself every day, you bastard. And then
To be fair, in defense of like people who are in abusive relationships, the person they're with convinces them that there's no one else for them. They do a bunch of like mental tricks and gaslighting to make the person put up with it because they convince you that no one else like cares about you except for them.
But then
it's kind of like a form of mental brainwashing.
Yeah, but the thing is, counter to that though, look, we're just talking about normal people here. Hopefully, they've got like a parent, sibling, friends, and also another thing. If they're worried about being alone, they're too reliant on codependency. You need to be happy with yourself when you get with someone else, right? You need to be like okay with yourself. Because if you're just with someone because you're scared of being alone, you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Not so much the fear of being alone. It's they somewhat brainwash you into thinking that you can't live without this person. And it's easy enough for us to say because we're not in that situation, but I know a few people who have been in those types of situations, and they do a lot of mental damage to you.
Yeah. How did they get out of it in the end? Did they leave the person or call the police?
So I'm gonna bring up a story from one of my closest friends. She's appeared on some of my streams. Nyx, you might have seen her on the Smite streams.
Mm-hmm. American.
But no, she's I believe she's from the Netherlands.
Oh, cool. Sorry, I get the people mixed up because there's the only one I really remember is that dude sounds like he's from Hull.
Bye.
Yeah, he's really cool.
Yeah, he is. But yeah, no, Nyx, she used to be in a very abusive relationship, and she actually made a podcast about it on her YouTube where she talked about it and her experience. But basically, the guy put her in this like mental state of like everything was her fault whenever something went wrong, and that apparently he would break up with her regularly and then get back together with her in the same day. Because the idea was the breakup was supposed to do mental damage, and then he comes back and says like it does the usual, oh, I'm sorry, it won't happen again, only for it to happen again as soon as she does anything wrong. And the thing is, he used to blame a lot of if anything went wrong for him, he blamed it on her.
Mm-hmm.
And like they do this mental trick where they make you believe that everything's your fault and no one will believe you if you say otherwise. It's it's a lot of mental brainwashing. What happened was I think how she got out of it was he broke up with her again, this time for like 2 weeks to let it sink in. And during those 2 weeks, I think I don't know if she worked it out herself or if a friend helped her, But when he came back to take her back, she just said no. And
Brilliant.
apparently he's still now even trying to get back together with her,
Oh,
even
well, you know
though
what?
she's in another relationship now and has made it very clear she doesn't want anything to do with him. Like, he's
Brilliant.
still
I mean,
someone stalking her and trying to get back together with
oh
her.
no.
And it's
The
like,
thing is, I
yeah.
get the point you're saying, but she really took mental courage in the end and said no, and that is the solution.
That
You know?
yeah, it's like it's easier for us to say that, but it is kind of
Yeah.
hard in the moment. But a lot of it is you need the mental strength to say no, but that's hard to do.
It is, yeah. I mean, mental strength comes from things that happen in your life, and I don't know much about your friend, but or maybe they just feel a bit nervous, like, oh, as you said, they get brainwashed. Even if they are mentally strong, they can get brainwashed into believing something. But you just have to find the strength eventually, because otherwise you're going to waste your life with someone who's not really that cool and a bit of a scumbag.
Yeah, it's again, it's one of those things. They forcibly isolate you, so you haven't got anyone to help you with that mental strength, and they
Awful.
go out of their way to stop you from getting it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's how they can keep their clutches in you. It's what they do.
Yeah.
Like they deliberately try and isolate you so you haven't got any friends to help you get that strength, and then they try and keep you from getting it yourself, so
Yeah.
that you can't separate from them.
Really interesting stuff though, right there. But I guess it is a little bit awkward to get back to Family Guy after that deep conversation. But
Yeah, but I mean, if we're talking
yeah.
about deep shit, this is a good segue into Rick and Morty.
No, I want to talk a little bit more about Family Guy. Sorry, it's because I've got more, still a little bit more I want to say. I'll talk about one
That's
more
fine.
episode that I think is a bit naff and why modern Family Guy sucks. And then we'll go
All
on
right.
to good episodes, rating, and then move to Rick and Morty. So yeah, right. There is one other really like pistol mental episode. The episode where Meg is getting verbally abused by her family constantly, and in the end, it's like it's annoying because Family Guy jokes around. So, like, what's it called? Seahouse Party, Seahorse Party, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
So, what happens is they're stuck inside because of a storm. Brian takes mushrooms, and there's some horrific imagery, or is it Stewie who takes mushrooms? I can't remember.
I don't
Uh,
know. It's one of the two.
the family are having a go at each other constantly, then have a go at Meg. And although there was a really good meme from it where Meg's like, "Why are you always having a go at me?" and then it's just Peter and Lois and Chris with like monocles and suits and top hats. It's quite funny.
Yeah, I
quite
remember that
funny.
bit.
But it took a million years for that meme to happen.
It did.
What else is really weird about that? Oh yeah, so the episode's boring anyway. I swear in that episode's sorry if you hate these noises. I hate these noises, right? But there's a point in the episode where Peter's just making old man 99% of it's this episode, and he's going, and it's like, for goodness sake, this is going on for 30 seconds. Shut the fuck up! It's like bloody hell. And then
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And then Family Guy though. This happens in general. This is a problem with Family Guy. After probably around series 8, it goes on forever and ever. Some of the jokes gone for a million years and they're crap. There's one where this woman's going, oh, this is going to look mental for no context, but she's basically going, for like 30 seconds. It's like, this isn't comedy. This is just shit. And it's like,
Yep. So this isn't comedy. This is. Well, I don't even know what this is.
oh, it's like, what is the point? Honestly. But anyway, the episode ends with, because Family Guy goes from being this stupid comedy to trying to take itself seriously. They do these shots constantly where they're slowly zooming in and the character's saying about why this has meaning. And it's zooming in on Meg and she says, I need to be abused because it gives the family hope. It gives them someone to take their frustrations out of. And it's like, no! What? It's like, that is a rubbish
I
thing
think
to
I've seen a lot of people
say.
complain about that episode because Meg gets out of the abuse and she goes right back into it because
Yeah,
whatever reason.
she tells.
It's a poor ass excuse to justify her abuse
Yeah,
from that point on.
and it's saying, oh, so people who are being abused should just be abused to help the abusers cope with their problems. No, that's the worst.
And
That is one of
the worst message.
Yeah, that is one of the worst messages anyone has ever taken away from anything in TV in the history of the universe. That is just awful. But let's talk about Family Guy at its best quickly. PTV, hilarious, fast-paced, funny stuff. When Peter creates his own TV network and Fox or whoever try to stop it because it's a smut. But then Peter's like, well, it's your choice to watch it, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's a high rating stuff at the end of the day. Like it's 18 or 15 plus in his PTV. The Brian and Stewie episodes, they're great. Road to Rhode Island is phenomenal. Just basic, simple stuff, but done amazingly. Great. They're just
most of the episodes based around Brian and Stewie tend to be like pretty good.
Yeah, man. What else is really, really high level? I'm just going to look up best Family Guy episodes quickly because there's so many episodes I just can't think of them off the top of my head.
A good way to narrow it down is anything pre-season, insert season number here.
Yeah, I mean, series.
Think of it like SpongeBob. The best way to do that is just narrow it down to anything like season 4.
Yep. I'm looking at Da Boom. That was classic Christmas classic where everything gets blown up. Like the thing in 2000 where they said, "Oh, everything's going to get destroyed. The end of the world." The end of the world actually happens, and they have to travel to a place, and then it just ends. Meet the Quagmires, Back to the Future parody. Love it, amazing. Then there were fewer, even though that series 9 and the later seasons aren't as good. It still had some more episodes, amazing. Road to Rhode Island, great. Road to North Pole, pretty good. McStroke. I actually don't really like McStroke that much. I know it's meant to be Peter having the consequences of eating too much. I found it kind of funny when I was a kid, like when I was 12, 13, a little bit when I was 14. But I think taking the mick out of stroke victims the way they did, I know this was Peter's own fault, but having his face down and him making weird noises and trying to sing a song, I just think it's kind of pathetic, really. I just think it's stupid and silly. I know shows do take it too far, but that just wasn't funny.
Yeah.
But it could be a lot worse and a lot more offensive, but I just didn't find that funny at all. I Dream of Jesus. Oh, yeah, Birdie's the Word. That's one of the best. PTV, yep, already said that. Brian and Stewie. That bloody hell, I've ranked that high. As I've said to you before, a lot of people are split on that one. I think the Star Wars episode, especially the first one, that was really good. P-Carded is okay. Well, actually, no, it's quite good, really. I Take the Quagmire. I found that one boring. What the hell? Blue Harvest, yeah, amazing. Back to the Pilot, yeah, amazing. And Road to the Multiverse, pretty amazing, yep. Family Guy, it's best. Quick wit, great, funny stuff. Good cutaways. Family Guy, at its worst, is just dog shit. There's been so many shit seasons now. Do you want to say anything before I give my rating? Or
no, not really.
Okay. I give Family Guy, honestly, a 5 because there's so much shit and it is next level boring bollocks. I know they had 5 amazing seasons and 6 and 7 were okay, and you have some good stuff here and there. But imagine out going back and watching all of Family Guy, and thing is, like, even with something like SpongeBob past series 3 and all the series they've done, at least there's some high moments here and there, and it's only 11 minutes and it isn't totally boring. While this is just dog shit. Like a lot of it is just absolute boring, over the top shit. So 5 for me. I mean, if it hadn't have been for series 1 to 5 and some good episodes here and there, it would probably be like a 3, to be honest, because it's just so boring. Or maybe even a 2, because it's just so boring and bollocks.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna it's just awful. What rating would you give it?
I want to say a 5 or if we're going up just at its best.
Oh, like a 9 or 8?
Yeah, but if we're talking about the whole series as a whole, I want to say 4 to 5.
Yeah.
Because the series really goes downhill after a point.
Yeah. I mean, if it's series 1 to 5, like an 8, probably like an 8.9. And then if it's series anything after that, if it's like series 6 to 10, even still, probably like a 7, even though there's some really shit ones. And then, but series 10 to 18, I'm sure there's some alright episodes, but it's like a 2 or a 3. So yeah, overall, the way I judge it is if I had to watch the whole show back. And yeah, it's a 5 for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can nicely segue into Rick and Morty.
Yep. So this is a good one.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, oh, sorry, you can take the floor.
right. So Rick and Morty. Memes aside, it is a very intellectual show.
Fart jokes, but yeah, it has got it's very, very intelligent.
There's a lot of actually
moment.
really subtle background details, like you need to somewhat look out for.
Yeah,
in Rick and Morty.
Definitely. I mean, what makes it great for me, just the family are so good. Jerry's next level hysterical. Rick is a nihilist. Morty's a horny teenager. Summer's just a social media obsessed teenager. And Beth is just an alcoholic person who's like, my life could have been so much better if I'd done X, Y, and Z. But they're changed throughout the seasons. Rick and Morty in series 1 and 2, he's like just doing whatever Rick says for the most part. But then in series 4, he's like, Rick, your ideas are a load of shit, mate.
It's like the saying, you die a Morty or you live long enough to become a Rick.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, how many Mortys has died on Rick's watch? Because Rick can pretty much just keep going to different universes, as was shown in the Cronenberg episode.
I think the thing is with Rick as well, and I know I always bring this shit up a lot, but Rick is a character who suffers various mental disorders when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, he's significantly depressed. That's made very clear. But a lot of that is because he knows everything and can do anything.
Yeah.
He can go to various alternate realities, so he can't really form attachments to people because he knows there's like literally infinite other versions of them he could go to if they die.
Yeah,
and it's like, so he gets this nihilistic mindset. It's like, it's one of those, how do you like get attachments to anything when you know that you can do anything and know everything?
Very true. He's the smartest man in the universe. But all I'll say is, even though he's the insanely nihilistic, insanely cynical, he still craves attachment, because otherwise he wouldn't have anything to do with Morty and everyone. Deep down, he still really wants some sort of companionship.
Yeah. Well, it's like he said in the Citadel of Ricks. Ricks keep Mortys to hide their brainwaves from enemies. Because the stupid waves of Morty gives off masks the Rick's brainwaves.
Yeah. But the way
I think, though, obviously, there's not a lot of truth to that when you think about it.
The Rick also, we follow, it's different.
Yeah.
I'm sure with a lot of Ricks that's the case, but with Rick Sanchez, what is it, C920?
Yeah,
no, that's not C. I can't remember the number of that Rick. C something.
Yeah,
C928, I don't know.
Yeah, also there's Evil Morty, which is fun.
Yeah, he's a lot of good banters, and it's quite justified, really, because didn't his Rick treat him like a load of shit? But then that evil Morty captures loads of Mortys and tortures them to hide the brainwaves, doesn't he?
Yeah, like Evil Morty is a Morty who is somehow outsmarting Ricks,
which is pretty banterous.
It is, but like, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Evil Morty in future seasons. But it is gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Like, to see what they do with it.
I hope they can write it well.
Same.
I do have my worries with Rick and Morty because series 1 and 2, like GOAT television, like some of the best stuff ever, top 10 material. And then, or you could argue top 5 because it's just like so amazing. They do writing, characters, jokes, story, everything is just perfection. Near enough anyway. But series 3, it just took a turn for the shit. Like, well, okay, not for the shit, but in my opinion, compared to series 1 and 2, it was nowhere near as good.
Series 3 was lacking, though it had a few good episodes.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, with series 3 and the first half of series 4, the characters sort of announce things and actually say things instead of like the way Rick does stuff. Like, look at the end of series 2, for example. When he gives himself up, there's no talking. he finally gives himself up, and that's a very un-Rick thing to do. That isn't what most Ricks do, is it? Giving himself up, putting the family first instead of putting himself first. He gives himself up, and there's no talking. If that had been in Series 3 or the start of Series 4, he would have announced how he felt. He would have been talking about it, instead of leaving it open to the viewer's interpretation, open for discussion. Which is
and there's also that like ending line of season 2 where it's like, "What are you in for? Everything."
Yeah, that's all he says, and it's like, oh, such an amazing ending to Series 2.
Indeed. Yeah, I think first episode of Series 3 is pretty good.
Yeah,
and there's also
one,
Ricklantis, which is another good one.
What happens in Ricklantis? Is that
it's the one where Evil Morty returns and takes over the Citadel of Ricks.
Is that when that Rick is fed up with his job and then he thinks he's being helped and then they attach him to the machine? Oh, yeah, that's really depressing.
It is. And so there's the thing of Evil Morty comes back and plays everyone in the Citadel to take the entire thing over. Yeah.
I can't remember exactly how he does it. Doesn't in the end, isn't it a meeting and then some of the Ricks stick their hand up against him and then they all go pew 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 and kill the ones that are against him.
He wins a thing to become the president or mayor in the Citadel of Ricks, and then he has some of the Ricks under him dispatch members of the council who will defy him to get complete control.
I mean, it's pretty peak level stuff from Justin Roiland to be able to play Rick and Morty's in so many different ways and give them so many distinct, unique personalities. That's so hard
really
to do
is.
when you. I know, obviously, the animation helps because they've changed the way Rick's and Morty's look. But to be able to change the actual characters themselves and give these different Ricks and different Mortys meaning and a character is really good.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, though, with Pickle Rick, I loved it when I first watched it, but then I watched it back and I was like, this is kind of weak.
Yeah. Pickle Rick is very
I mean, at first I thought, it's because of the fans. Like there was one idiot asking for Szechuan sauce. That wasn't because of the Pickle Rick, that was because of a different episode.
Yeah, that was because of season 1's first episode.
Yeah. But I remember what it was. I remember what it was now. He was going, Ree! I'm Pickle Rick! Ree! And like pulling his top up and spasming out on the floor as a joke.
Yeah.
And so at first I thought it's because of the fans going over the top, but then I really paid attention to the episode and I thought, this is just kind of boring. Like it's just Pickle Rick turning himself into a pickle and saying, I'm Pickle Rick!
The Rick and Morty fans do kind of lower the show's thing because they're very rabid.
Yeah.
The fans are. Like, you give them a meme, like Rick and Morty gives them a meme and they go way too far with it, like the Szechuan sauce.
Yeah.
As you said, they went way too far on that one.
Yeah, I mean, with the fans, right, you've either got the ones who are like, Rick and Morty was the best thing ever before everyone knew about it. You've all ruined it. It was my little thing, and now everyone knows about it. It's awful now because it's not this little show. It's the most popular thing ever now. And then you've got the people who just defend it to the death, and they're like, any criticisms, how dare you? This is the greatest, most profound thing that has ever graced media and film and television. How dare you? So you've got those two. And I don't mind people having those opinions because there are a lot of people who, especially in this day and age, who try too hard to sound profound. Yeah.
Like, the way I look at Rick and Morty, the show's good. It has its low points and it has some good high points. But the show is not perfect.
Yeah.
And while some of the memes are good, the fans ruin those memes because they take it way too far. Like the Szechuan sauce one, where people literally raided a McDonald's demanding the sauce.
Yeah.
And so on. And
I'm not laughing about that, by the way.
I know.
I was just thinking... I didn't know they raided McDonald's. That's awful, man.
Yeah, like a bunch of fans literally raided a McDonald's demanding they bring the Szechuan sauce back.
Mental, absolutely pissed. It doesn't. Apparently, it's just really sour and like rank. Apparently, it's not really that good.
Yeah, I don't know either. I never actually had it.
I mean, barbecue sauce is peak and ketchup is just standard and solid. But like Szechuan sauce, there's a reason why they get rid of this stuff. There's a reason. Like
McDonald's
it's not.
has a habit of that actually, where everything like they make eventually like sorry. Yeah, McDonald's just have a habit of that. Of they'll bring something out for a short time and then they'll get rid of it. It's
Yeah,
just what they do.
yeah, man. But I mean, it's the same with toys, and it's the same with the sauce. And you can probably get some teriyaki dipping sauce from somewhere anyway. So I don't know why
Yeah.
they're adding Mackey's for it. That's just ridiculous. But I was just going to say the thing that I was laughing at. The two memes that are really funny. You know the one when they get in the ship, they're walking the ship, and he goes, "Ah!"
Yeah.
And Morty's crying. That one's amazing. I absolutely love that one.
Oh yeah,
And
that one's really good as well.
when you've done like a 12-hour shift and you don't know how you got through it, or when you've only done one assignment and everything else is in for the next day, I just think it's peak.
Yeah.
But there were the other meme. I haven't seen many of them, but I've made it myself. I basically, you know, the one where Jerry goes, "I'm gonna see." No, when Rick goes, "I'm gonna see the truth," and he goes, "Ooh!" And then Jerry goes, "Let me see," and then he goes, "You don't want to see," so he says, "I do." "No, you do not." And then Jerry steals it, and he goes, "No, no, 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 no."
Yeah.
And then Rick
Jerry
goes,
regrets it immediately.
and the thing that kills me is when Rick just looks and he goes, "Go, go," and then Jerry's going, "Leave, go,"
Yeah.
and then Rick's going,
Also, the ending to that episode is definitely something. It's like someone has to remember. Someone will. Erases Jerry's memory of what he just saw.
I mean, the one, the one meme I came up with. I'm not going to say something, but the one I came up with when someone sends you your friend's dick pic.
Yeah.
Oh God, tragic. But yeah. So there are some good memes. But obviously, you've got a shit ton of shit ones like Pickle Rick and just random ones where Rick and Morty are in frozen positions, like a picture of them, and it's just like, you've took it a bit too far now. It's a bit boring.
Yeah.
But,
the fans do take things a bit far.
Yeah. But something I liked about series 3, Jerry and Beth fell out, and then at the end of the season they're back together.
Yeah.
That's quite cool. But then Beth's like, I'm going to be a clone now, and then they're like, oh, okay. Or was that in a different? Or was that at the start of series 4?
I think that was
No,
the
it
Star
was the end of
series.
series 3.
Actually, I
can't
don't remember when that one was.
But yeah, I mean, series 1 and 2, as I say, are just peak. I mean, the thing is, they'd have a good way of like rolling around the story. So, like, you know, when they're probably the best episode in my opinion, 60 minutes, where they're looking at alternate lives, and
Yeah.
Jerry's like famous and Beth's like a professional horse surgeon, but she's still an alcoholic in that universe. And then Jerry's on this little scooter and getting chased by the police, and half his hair shaved
Oh
off.
yeah,
And then he comes in and says, "All I really wanted was to be with you, Beth." And then they kiss each other, and then they kiss each other in the real world. Bravo. Bravo. That was amazing.
Yeah.
What's the one where they do a parody of The Thing and Total Recall? That's it. They do a parody of The Thing, Total Recall, and what's the other parody? Like a sitcom where they have old memories happen. And the thing I like about that is that the reason why they know the memories are true is because they had bad memories with that person. If they only
that one.
Yeah. If they only had good memories with those people, then you know it's too good to be true. And that is such a thing in life. Like the way life is real is because you have bad memories. Okay, you don't want all bad memories or horrific stuff, but you want a mixture of good and bad memories with people because that's real. And then the good memories mean a lot more, you know.
Yeah.
If everything's perfect, it just feels a bit unnatural. And by the way, I'm not saying it's good when bad things happen. I just mean, like, you know, an occasional argument or a mishap or like an inconvenience. That's what I mean. Not like horrific things. That's obviously bad.
Yeah.
But what else? What are the really good episodes? Obviously the finale to series 2, the one where they keep going, where Rick goes inside his engine. And then Zeep is like, "Oh, I made another universe. Look at how cool I am." And then And then he says, "Oh, I made a universe inside a universe." And someone else made a universe inside of his universe. And Zeep is like, "How are they so much smarter than me?" And then he's like, "Did you make my universe?" And then they're getting a massive ego back.
Yeah, like this is an endless chain of universe inside a universe.
Yeah. And then the dude, what are they called? Like the white, like the pale white, big puffy rat circular people.
Yeah, I know what you
He's
mean.
like, "I missed my father's funeral to make this universe." And then he just walks off, and then he goes in the ship and just goes, "Pow!" And it's like, oh, that was kind of done well, even though it's dark. That was dark humor done well, because it just shows. I mean, the thing is, he shouldn't have been disappointed with that thing. I know it's meant to be a joke, and I'm not trying to get philosophical with everything, but he made that universe. That's quite a big feat. But I suppose he shouldn't have put work first over his dad's funeral, because it doesn't really. You can have a break from these things. In reality, it doesn't really matter, you know.
Yeah, but it's as it is.
Yeah, and then what happens? Zeep is trying to get to the real universe, and then everyone finds out that it's just a fake universe, and then they're all just stepping on their machines to charge Rick's engine. But isn't that what the real world's like, really? Like, as much as I'm not a nihilist, isn't the real world just doing your day-to-day stuff and, like, just trying to... Except they're not enjoying themselves, they're being nihilistic about it, you know?
Yeah, though a lot of that is down to, like, they know if they stop, Rick's just going to wipe the universe, so that's why they're still doing it.
Fair, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because now they know that now they know that their universe was made by Rick. They know that if they stop, he's just going to make another one and destroy theirs.
Yeah. What other good episodes? The final half of Series 4 was quite amazing. Especially the finale. I loved how Jerry saved the day. When he got the dead... Oh, what's her name? Tammy. He got the dead Tammy. I was like,
the only one with a decent character arc.
Yeah. I mean, throughout that season, I do get where you're coming from with the arcs, because Rick didn't really... Everything had already been done before. Like, you know the episode when he goes on that toilet and he's just like and he's isolated from everyone.
Yeah.
That we already, and Ricky's speaking out about how he feels alone and all that stuff. We already know that he feels alone, and you should really leave it to be interpreted by the viewer. That dragon episode was probably the worst Rick and Morty episode.
Oh god, the fucking slut dragons.
Yeah, that was just tragic and cringe. That was, and they make fun of it in a later episode.
They do. Sure.
So they probably knew that it was a bag of arse.
Yeah.
But overall, the final half of Series 4 was great. I thought the first half was a bit crap. That heist one was a bit strange, because even though I find heist movies all right, it was just the same joke hammered in over and over and over and over.
Oh, yeah. I think that was the point.
Yeah.
Was to show that heist movies all tend to be the same. Just, it's a heist, but it's actually part of another guy's heist.
Yeah.
Which is part of another guy's heist.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
I think that's the joke.
Yeah, I mean, even Rick and Morty at its lowest is better than a lot of telly and shows. But at the same time, and then at the end, he's like, "It was all part of my plan. No, it was all part of my plan. No, it was all part of my plan. No, I wanted you to figure that. I wanted you to figure that out. No, and then you figure that out. Then no, you figure that out." For like about 30 seconds, that goes on.
And it turns out it was all part of Rick's plan to make Morty not give a shit about heist movies.
Yeah.
For his Netflix-like thing.
Yeah. I mean, it was still good, but I don't know. I feel like Rick and Morty's better than hammering in the same joke over and over and over again. But it's still good nonetheless. It's still good.
Yeah.
Acid episode was really good. And then, in the Acid episode, oh my god, that was an amazing episode. You know when Morty keeps creating different timelines?
Yeah, and he doesn't realise he's making different timelines until Rick breaks it to him.
That was amazing.
It's like, you did do all those things. It's like, no, but the thing, I didn't make a replay button. That's boring.
But then he finds...
Also, it's like, wait, so this isn't my... Wait, so you're not even my Rick? Then how do you know about the vat? Because every Rick has a vat! Yeah. I mean, like how he did all that just to teach Morty a lesson about the vat.
Yeah, I mean, he killed so many Mortys, it's unreal. But as Rick always says, don't think about it! You know?
Yeah.
Just don't think about it, you just move on. You know, when I was babbling on about, right, how they shouldn't say
Yeah,
stuff out loud, sometimes it can be all right. Like, you know, when Morty's with Summer and he's like,
yeah,
I have lunch next to my dead body in the garden, my dead rotting corpse. And he's like, nobody exists on purpose. Everyone's going to die. Come and watch TV. And then that's it. I
yeah,
thought
that
that's
one.
quite a cool thing.
Yeah,
Um, one last point I wanted to make before like giving my rating though, is that with Rick and Morty, it's weird how a lot of the fan base wants to be Rick all the time. Like I'd much
yeah.
rather
The thing
like a
is,
lot of
one of the big points of Rick and Morty is Rick isn't a role model and shouldn't be seen as such. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And yet, some people are like, "Oh no, I want to be Rick Grimes." Like, no, the ideal, the part of the point of the show is Rick's not a role model. You shouldn't be looking up to him.
yeah. But I think that's a lot of people's egos talking, to be honest. I mean, it's like people are
Yeah,
like, oh, I want to be like Walter White, he's so smart. I want to be Tony Soprano, he's the boss. He's the boss, man. You know.
and it's like, yeah, they're smart, but they're not role models. Like, they are terrible people, and you look at what they do.
Exactly. I mean,
Even Walter White, like, fucking, like, he becomes a fucking kingpin.
yeah.
Like by the end of Breaking Bad, it's like he does so much terrible things.
Hmm. I mean, with him, it's like if he had got to the $750,000, which he pretty much done within 4 episodes of the series, he should have just
Yeah,
left it there. Then I would have been like, you know what? Well, you're dealing cocaine and making blue cocaine, but you know what, mate? You've got $750,000 now. You give it to your family, fair play. But then that would have been the end of the show, and that would have been boring as anything.
yeah,
I guess it would have been a nice little few episodes type of thing, but it wouldn't have been that good. While he doesn't stop at 750,000, he gets on to like 80 million. He's like, I have a business that's worth 80 million. And he's like, I am the one who knocks and all that jazz. And it's like he becomes such a big head by the end, and it's not for his family, it's all just for him. I like how he admits that in the end though. Skylar's like, Walt, if you say one more time that it was for the family, he's like, I did it for me. I liked it. I was good at it. You know, I thought that was really powerful, and it really made me think, damn, I mean, we all knew it was for you, but fair play, like, you admitted it.
yeah. It is one of those things. A lot of people will say that it's not for them, but when you break it down to it, it is.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, deep down, Walt is a bad guy. Like, oh, sorry, you meant, like, not for them, yeah. I mean, if Walt was doing it for the family, as I said, he would have got 750K or whatever, enough money to, or even a few million, enough money to live on, then leave the business. But in reality, it's all for him because you shouldn't do bad stuff like this anyway, like enabling people to, like, you know, snort blue coke and ruin their lives. But at the same time, I understand it because his family might have had no money if he died. So I didn't, but once he got, I mean, he was getting up to like 80 million. He bombed a nursing home. He let Jane die. I know Jesse would have just gone off with Jane and OD'd probably, but at the same time, it's like he shouldn't have let her die. He had the power to save her. Shooting Mike just because of a little argument, getting all of Mike's men killed, poisoning a kid. I know if he didn't poison the kid, Jesse wouldn't have helped him and all that jazz. But you never know. He could have convinced him anyway.
yeah,
Just all that jazz, lying to his family constantly, pretty much getting Hank killed by calling the Nazi biker gang on him, getting Jesse kidnapped at the end and telling him, I let Jane die. I watched her die. And it's like, fuck. And then just, he does so much evil shit. But I mean, at least he redeems himself in the end, and he's a very interesting character.
yeah.
He's one of TV's most dynamic, interesting characters, in my opinion.
He is for sure.
But
Yeah,
back to the point anyway. A lot of people are like, I'm Rick, you're Jerry. But first off, most people who are like, I'm Rick, are either like very immature or they're massive Jerrys or both. And also, you don't.
like if you have to go around saying that you're Rick, the odds are you're Jerry.
Yeah. But even if I was a Rick, right, I'd much rather be Jerry any day of the week. He's a lot more
Like,
content and happy with his
yeah.
life.
Plus, it's not as fun to be a Rick as everyone says.
Yeah,
It's like you really don't want to be that type of person.
exactly. You don't want to be the smart.
Knowledge is a curse more than people know.
I mean, yeah,
People who don't think it's a curse are people who clearly don't know enough.
yeah. I mean, there are some. I mean, there's all different sorts of knowledge in there. There's some academically amazing people who never make profound, interesting points, but there are some academically shit people who make amazing points. And there are some people who are good at both. There are some people who are actually smart but try too hard and they come off as a bit daft. In reality, you just need to do you at the end of the day. Try to learn, do your best, but don't. Just if you're going to overload yourself with knowledge, try to overload yourself with the healthy stuff, I suppose. Because knowing so much is just, man, it's like not the best thing in the world. But I mean, like knowing Rick's level of stuff isn't good. Obviously, if you have like hobbies and interests and all that jazz, that's fine. But again, knowing too much, it's just sort of like, and you can sort of waste your time watching too many different things and having too many interests and trying to keep up with so many different things at a high rate. I mean, it's not really good for you in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you got any points before I give the rating, my rating, and then your rating, or?
No, I think we're good.
Oh, sick. All right then. My rating for Rick and Morty is 9.7 because the thing is, even at its weakest, it's still pretty great. And 4 seasons in, and they're all season 1, 2, top tier telly, 10 out of 10. Series 3, like probably a 9 still because it has some high moments. And then series 4, probably like a 9. Sorry, 9.5 or 9.6 or 7 because it's still quite great. Like especially the second half. What's your rating?
For Rick and Morty, I want to say 7 to 8 because
fair enough.
It's a good show, but it's not as it's not as good as some people let on. It's not the perfect show. It's not the greatest thing ever made by humankind.
Fair play.
It's good. It has its bad episodes and bad seasons.
Mm-hmm.
But again, what show doesn't?
Exactly. I was going to make one more point about Rick quickly, though, before we move on to South Park. I don't really like how overpowered they make Rick. Like in the Avengers parody episode, that was shit anyway, apart from a couple. Like, okay, that was probably one of the worst Rick and Morty episodes, but still good by regular standards.
Yeah.
And they make Rick OP, like, oh, he was drunk and he set up all these traps. It's like, what the hell? When Rick gets drunk, he's always passed out. It's like, well, he's still a human, but they're trying to make him out to be like the best thing ever. And then someone else is the bad guy in the end, the flying lady hero, and then that's the end.
Yeah.
They top it off with like a concert at the end by a famous rapper, and then it's like, what? You know, it's a bit...
Yeah, but I think that's the point of Rick is... because he knows everything and can do everything, like he comes across as like not like it plays to his character of like his nihilistic like personality is because of that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind him being OP in most of the episodes, but that one it just seemed a bit naff to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, on to South Park then. Show.
Mm-hmm.
South Park's one of them that it's actually been really consistent, to be honest. I mean, the old episodes were just sort of like silly, over the top, like shouty stuff, but it was still quite great, quite good for the time. Animation was pretty smart because they could respond to things like the computer animation. Although it's quite crap, it's smart and it's given it its own unique style. I think the best episodes are like between 2001 to like 2015, to be honest.
Yeah, I can see that. South Park is a show that like its main reputation comes from it literally can kind of do whatever. Like, sorry. Like, the show pulls no punches of tackling really important subject matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's hard for people, and it's hard for the censors to censor the show because they produce an episode in 1 week.
Yeah.
And like they don't show it to the censor until like the day before airing, so they can't censor it as much as they would with other shows.
Because it's either quick, get South Park out there, or well, oh,
Yeah.
we're not going to get this out there. Oh, damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, with South Park, what I love about it is that they just take the mick out of everyone. Sometimes they go way too far for me. Like they're just like, for me, subjectively, objectively, it's kind of funny, but actually, no, humor's very subjective. It can be. I can see why some of it's funny, but they just go way too far with some of it.
Yeah,
I
they
thought
do.
the one where I think what's his name, Craig, when his mom gets sucked in the toilet and she dies. I thought that was fucking stupid. I thought that was just immature, juvenile bollocks.
Yeah,
The one where when everyone kept talking and it was poo coming out of their mouths, I just found that shit. Like I get why they did it, but I just found it a bit shit. You know, because the meaning was Stan's growing up and everything sounds like shit now because he's growing up and things aren't the way he used to see him. It
what's
felt
funny
like,
about that episode is it actually has a really good representation of depression in it.
oh, that's what it was. I thought it was just meant to be about Stan growing up and being fed
No,
up. I didn't
like
realise
it
it was
actually, like
depression.
if you know about mental health stuff like I do, and you watch the episode, you actually see that it does a really good way of showing people what it actually feels like to be falling into depression.
Oh,
You know what I
damn.
mean? Yeah, like
That's kind of all right. I mean, I just found like the plot kind of boring, but I mean, now that you put it in that sense, the poo coming out of people's mouths actually makes a lot of sense because you can't get when you're depressed. I mean, I've never had depression or anything, but
yeah,
from what I've been told by you and a couple other people, when you're depressed, nothing can get you high, nothing can make you feel good, no matter what happens. You're just in this down state of being fed
yeah.
up. So everything is.
You're in this state of everything sucks. Nothing. There's no point to anything, and you can't get out of it. Like
Yeah.
it's so hard to get out of that state on your own. To like, this is gonna sound like weird. And again, if you want to know more about like various mental health stuff, check out our podcast on that. But
Yeah.
with like just going on to like depression in general real quick, it like you can't get out of that state on your own. It's actually like nearly impossible.
How does Stan get out of it?
Um so I don't remember how he got out of it in the episode. I think he just learned to deal with it or move with
Okay.
it. Because
And
I
that
said
sort of
they
is how it
had
is
to
in
like
reality.
yeah, I think it's one of those they had to get him out of that state by the end of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I don't remember how they actually had him do it.
Yeah.
But in real life, when you're in that state, you can't get out of it alone.
Yeah.
The best way I can describe it is it's like you're stuck in a pit of like tar,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't get yourself out of the pit. You need someone else to reach in and pull you out.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can describe it, in all honesty.
I mean, you that is like really deep, to be fair. I did find the episode boring. I remember someone said it was like amazing though, and they were like, "Oh, I thought this would be the finale to South Park." And I suppose Stan growing up and getting bored would have been an alright way to end it. But I just remember finding the episode boring. I haven't seen the episode for ages, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it's one of those like it's not a perfect episode. There's the South Park's had better, but it is really immature in a way that it actually does a good representation of what it of like visually showing what it's like to fall into depression for people without making fun of it. Because a lot of shows that try and represent that, they go too far one way, and they represent it in a harmful way.
They represent it, from what I've seen from other shows. Sometimes it's either like there's no getting out of it, give up, or there's different ways they go to extremes. It's either like the person who's going through it is always, well, I feel like the way some people represent it, and I feel like the way society's representing it now, there's so many people who it's obvious they haven't got depression, but they just say it because it either A, makes them cool, or it justifies something they've done, and it's like something negative they've done, or, oh, this criticism, you've done this, and I'm just saying, like, you shouldn't really do this. Oh, well, I'm depressed, I feel this way. And I feel like we as a society, it's just sort of become the in thing. But the thing, I know it's a bit uncool and sounds a bit unsympathetic of me to say that, and but at the end of the day, obviously there's people who have real depression, like yourself and a few others, and I've seen a few, not many others, but a few others suffer, and it's just one of the worst things ever. And there can't be this many people who claim to have it still living normal lives and laughing about stuff and going mad and like, hey, I'm having the best time of my life, like to a whole other level, and then saying, oh yeah, I want to kill myself now. People can act like that, but they can't, like, do you get what I mean, sort of? I know I've talked a bit about it before.
Yeah.
Because some people get really annoyed when I say that. One person said to me, oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh, how dare you? Like, no, that's not true. That's not true. And it's like, everyone can feel the worst level of depression. And it's like, are you okay? Are you all right? It's like, what are you going on about? I remember once this is kind of I won't go into too much detail, but basically this one person said they had depression and was trying to emotionally manipulate people into doing everything that they wanted. And then they'd act like an absolute idiot and just say, oh, well, I'm feeling depressed right now, so it gives me the right to act like this. They didn't say that word for word, but they were going along those lines.
Yeah.
And I said this to someone at college once. This person I knew who did this wasn't at college, by the way, but they were like, oh, it makes perfect sense because this makes them feel happy. And I'm thinking, so we have to do every single little thing they want and let them act like a tit. And they sort of said, well, if they're feeling the worst, then I'm like, you don't know this person. And it's like, but the thing is, Scott, you've never gone absolute justified. If you've done a negative thing, you've never justified it with mental health, have you? You've sort of said it's played into how you feel, but at the same time, you've said you have to take personal responsibility.
Into how you feel, but it's not a justification to treat everyone like shit.
Yeah.
Yes, it makes you feel like shit, but it's not a justification to take it out on everyone else.
Exactly.
And this is something I've said multiple times, but people who suffer depression don't talk about it.
Bang on.
You know what I mean? Like, they rarely actually say they have it until they've hit their lowest.
And then they'll make the choice of either,
which, again, we've gone on to on our mental health podcast, if you want to watch that to see if we give a better take on it.
Yeah,
but to sum it up, everyone who goes through depression eventually comes to a choice. And, they won't seek help, and they won't mention they have it until they've come to that choice.
Yeah.
Once they're there, they have to decide, do they want to get help, or do they want the pain to stop?
Yeah.
And as sad and grim as it is to say, you can't help a person who's fallen into depression until they've reached that point, because they won't seek the help themselves, and you can't force them to take it. If you do, you're just going to push them further.
And the thing is as well, even people with real depression, depending on your situation, how much you've actually been through in life and like what's actually happened, like so what I mean is, like, Tyson Fury, he was on top of the world. He won all these boxing fights, etc., etc., etc. But then he felt depressed, but he can still physically do stuff. Say if you're an old person who can't exercise or can't do stuff, it's a lot more of a harder thing to do. But if you're a physically normal person, you need to start going out and exercising and trying to help yourself. If you're not a physically normal person, it's a lot harder, and I'm not qualified to really tell you. But if you are a physically normal person, you've got to get out there and start exercising, get some sunlight, get some vitamin D, and just push yourself. You've got to help yourself seriously. And normal people who haven't got depression, you should still get some exercise and help yourself as long as you're physically able to do it.
Yeah, like, it's one of those. There are multiple ways to get depression. Like, reaching the top and having nowhere else to go
Yeah.
can be one way. Feeling feeling nothing from everything else is another way.
Hmm.
And there's the one I had where so much bad shit had happened to me that I fell into myself and was like, what is the point of like going on if this is all I'm feeling?
Yeah. Horrible.
Like, there's multiple things that can cause it and most likely will cause it.
Yeah.
But it's just a matter of how you deal with it. Because based on what it is that caused it, you have to handle it differently. There's no one fix for all types.
Hmm.
Like, with mine, I had to set up a good support, thing. Because, like, I got into a point where I felt nothing. I felt numb. I was sad all the time,
Yeah.
and I needed people to be there for me.
Yeah.
And even then, it took me a few. The thing is, it doesn't go away fast. It can take years to get out of it.
Yeah.
Like, it took me 2 years to get out of my first bout, but it never goes away. It gets easier to handle.
Yeah.
The
It's just always a part of people, in it, sadly,
Yeah,
who
once
suffer
you've
with it.
got it, it doesn't go, and that's sad. But at the same time, what else are you gonna you just learn to deal with it after a time.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like there's too many people as well who are scared to make themselves feel weak. They want to come across as like the most hard and tough
Yeah,
person.
society has a habit of doing that nowadays, where boys are taught growing up that they have to be strong, they have to be providers, they can't show emotion or weakness, and it leads to emotional buildup, which eventually leads to a self-destruction of kind.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, right, what I don't like though is when people act really hard and then they make fun of somebody else for, you know, who's actually been through a bit. Oh, why are they self-victimization, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, bruh, come on, man, have a bit of sympathy. But then they expect sympathy off other people. It's a little bit daft and hypocritical to me.
Yeah, there are a lot of people out there like that who are very hypocritical about things.
Yeah,
If you expect sympathy, you need to be sympathetic to others.
exactly.
You can't double standard it.
100%. But let's get back to South Park anyway.
Yep, we
Um,
got on a tangent again.
but I just want to talk about one of my favorite characters from South Park quickly, Randy motherfucking Marsh.
Oh
Honestly,
yeah, Randy.
I just want to go over some of his most hilarious moments. The crap episode was so funny because do you know much about Bono, the singer of U2?
Yeah.
He's just a self-righteous, massive ego prat. I'm sorry. I don't mean to have a go at people, but I remember when they did the remaster of, do they know it's Christmas? You know, that one, do they know it's Christmas time?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, let me sing the chorus again. Let me sing the chorus. And it's like, bruh, come on, grow up. And he has to babble on, oh, I've done all this charity work. Look at me. I'm the best person ever.
It's like how
Look at
Stan
me.
sums it up in the episode. How one man could do so much, help so many people, and still feel like a turd. And it's like, because he is a turd.
Like, genuinely, Bono is exactly near enough like he's in the episode, except not as funny. And what's so funny, the reveal at the end, because Randy Marsh is like, look at how big this crap is, and Sharon's like, for God's sake, Randy, what is the point of this?
He keeps showing his shit off to his wife. And then the women of South Park don't get it, but all the men are like, "Oh, that's a shit."
Oh, bloody hell! Amazing.
And all of us like, "I don't get it.
Yeah,
it's just a piece of crap." And it's like, that's why you don't get it.
I mean, it is quite amazing doing a poo that big. I've got to rate it highly there, but it's
you definitely got to give him that,
like pushing that out of his body, bloody hell. But anyway, at the end he does a massive poo, and then the scientist comes in and says, "Bono is
Bono is still the record."
he is a massive piece of crap." And then he gets his move, and then he's like, "Come and have a bit of the biddy. Come and have a bit of."
Oh yeah, could have the biddy.
I'm dead. I'm dead, man. Honestly,
But,
it's
like,
just.
yeah.
South Park is a next level funny show. This next bit, I don't know if I'm going to get cancelled or banned for this, but do you remember the Special Olympics one that Cartman enters, and then he just goes,
yeah,
"Yeah, I'm retarded."
yeah, I
So
remember.
what disability do you have, son? I'm retarded. And then I know that seems offensive, but everyone, let me explain. If I don't think anyone will get to this point. But let me explain. Cartman gets his ass kicked by all the people with special learning difficulties. He gets absolutely wrecked, and he just looks a tit. So it's quite funny. That makes it even funnier because like Cartman, he's like, no, and he just keeps getting wrecked by them all, and it's like beautiful. It's so funny because Cartman just gets absolutely humbled.
It's because Cartman's one of those people like that. Like for one, like Cartman is. As I said, he's a psychopath, and he's as racist, bigot as you could get.
Yeah, he's just an absolute twat.
And like I said, he believes people with disabilities all fall into retarded, not the different types.
Yeah.
So it's funny to see him get completely like stomped by the like special people.
Yeah. If he had won all those races, it would have been shit, but that wouldn't have been South Park, would it?
Yeah, but that's the point.
Yeah.
The point of South Park is Cartman rarely wins for what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Because like they know he's a terrible person.
Yeah.
So they make sure that he doesn't win that often.
Mm-hmm. I mean, another episode, Randy March. I know it's obviously down to the kids as well, making it funny. Make Love Not Warcraft. That is such a that might be one of the best
that
episodes.
one pokes fun at World of Warcraft. It's like, do you have a Warcraft account? No, I have a life.
This person clearly has a life, because it's like, no, you know this one dude who I was at the same work as.
Yeah.
He. Hold on, I'm really sorry about this. There's some bugs in my room that I have to catch.
That's fine.
And that is why I would never move to Australia. I know bugs in England aren't poisonous, man, but I absolutely hate them, honestly.
Everything in Australia wants to kill you. And they're very creative about how they do it.
You know, there's like spiders that actually... there's spiders that in Australia will pop out the ground. This is in the outback, not in the city, but they'll pop out the ground, they'll just jump at you. It's like, fuck, imagine if they jump at your face, or like, oh god, you're right, oh god.
Oh, like trapdoor spiders.
That'd be game over. Yeah, I mean, I guess you just have to be really quick and try and get it out. But I guess just don't go in the outback. And there's little spiders on like bottom of toilet seats.
Yeah, Black Widows.
Oh, I'm never.
Also, there's a snake in Australia. I think it's a snake or a spider. That bite gives you a 4-hour painful erection and then kills you. And it's like, what the fuck?
That is absolutely. Is there any way to like go? Well, you go to the doctors. Can you get it fixed, or is it game?
I don't know. I haven't gone to Australia. It actually reminds me of like something a person I used to know at school told me about when they went to Australia for like a holiday, and there was a spider in the room like filled up the whole sink. And they had to like call in the hotel manager to like get rid of it. And he just mentioned like the whole time I was just there bashing it with the Hoover, trying to.
He's got like, balls. The hotel manager has got balls. I'd say this isn't in the job description. I'm sorry, I'm refunding you, or get in a different room. The best patrol.
Yeah, I mean, the people who live in Australia, they're probably used to dealing with spiders. Like, yeah, they're probably used to it. Like, this actually reminds me of like a way. There's an Australian YouTuber I used to watch, and this is actually a quote from him. So don't think I'm being racist when I say this. He said, "That's just being Australia. We're used to putting shrimp on the barbie and getting into wrestling matches with giant spiders."
Fair play.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's accurate.
But yeah, man. I mean, New Zealand seems quite cool though. To be fair, that hasn't got any big bugs or anything horrible.
Give it time.
Oh yeah. I mean, if it does end up with big bugs, I mean that'll
That
be
is a
quite
rip
interesting.
on everything else.
No, imagine if like some nutter in Australia just put loads of bugs in a massive cargo ship and just released them all in New Zealand. That'd be game over from that being a nice place for me.
I mean, that's how a
Um,
lot of like bad like insects get to other areas in the world.
yeah, but in certain places they
Is
just can't survive though. Like if
oh
you took a
yeah,
load of
some
bad
places
insects,
they can't survive the climate. Yeah,
if you like dumped a load of sharks in English waters or poisonous fish or whatever, or bloody just you dumped a load of bugs, they can't survive English climate. That it's just not good enough for them. While other countries they probably survive, they're just not there.
yeah,
It's like having exotic birds. I said to one of my mates who was looking after his nan's bird. I was like, so you couldn't let it fly off or like let it go outside, and he said no because the weather's bad for it, and it's not as smart as like pigeons. It can get scared to death really easily. So I think it's a cockatiel.
that sounds about right.
But anyway, back to South Park though. Yeah, World of Warcraft. So basically, what happens is, oh yeah, the dude at work. He said he spent like 300. He said in total over his whole life, he spent years on the game, or probably like a year and a few months. Mental, innit?
Yeah, World of
Absolutely
Warcraft was
mental.
a very popular game for a while. I don't know if it's as popular now as it used to, but at one point it was like an MMO that everyone was sinking time into.
Yeah. Um. But yeah, that episode was great. That dude who didn't have a life got his ass kicked in the end because of that special sword. No matter how many hours they synced in, the dude with no life had still beat them. And then it was good to see him get his ass kicked. They did it in a very satisfying way,
Yeah.
and that was quite cool. Have you seen Integrity Farms? That was a really good
Oh
season
yeah,
22
Integrity
episode.
Farms.
Integrity
Integrity.
Farm. That was quite a good
You
one, especially
lost
for the
your
later one.
integrity.
Yeah. What other good Randy episodes are there? Oh, that Margaritaville when Randy pretends to be Jesus or something weird. That was quite funny. And he's like, "The economy, we need to help the blah 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 blah. The economy hates you now," acting like it's an actual living being. And then Kyle just pays everyone's debts, and then that's the end of the episode.
Yeah, I remember
That's quite
that.
dangerous. A nightmare on FaceTime was quite funny when it's a Shining parody and Randy buys a Blockbuster store and it totally just tips up because no one buys DVDs. Well, there is no Blockbuster anymore. It's just all CX or regenerates now, which makes a lot more sense, especially with the streaming services.
Yeah.
I don't
It
know if
is
this is
funny.
I don't know if this is a good one to bring up. You know the one when he accidentally says the N word?
Oh yeah.
That one it was pretty funny and kind of good how people go over the top about Randy March because he thought he'd win a load of money. Still doesn't make it right. It just makes him a bit of an idiot. But like the way people
Yeah.
reacted to it was way over the top, way over the top, and it just shows how society does react to things a bit too over the top nowadays. We need to try and chill out a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, this is an amazing one. Overlogging. That was so funny. Ectoplasm. It's ectoplasm. Do you know that one?
I think so, yeah.
when the internet goes down and he just doesn't know what to do with himself and they all have to move away. That's such a classic. Oh yeah, this one's amazing too. When Randy keeps fighting people at the games and he's like, "I didn't hear that it was over. I didn't hear no bang." He said, "I thought it was America. I thought it was America," and he's got his ass kicked. And then he's keep that going.
Yeah, he got his ass kicked. He's like, I thought this was America.
What's this one? Broadway Bro Down. What the hell's this one?
I don't know.
Broadway Bro Down. The primary he discusses. I'm guessing number one might be the food porn one. Yeah, the food porn one. That was so funny. Yay! That was hilarious. And I'm pretty sure that was the one where Cartman dressed up as Gordon Ramsay. He's like, for fuck's sake, what?
Oh yeah, that. I remember that. Yeah, we're like Cartman dresses up as Gordon Ramsay.
But
That was great.
pretty much discussed all the stuff about why South Park is good and the good episodes. Pretty much.
Yeah.
I think it's weakest stuff. I mean, obviously, there's some things, some of them that I find boring.
Recently, it started like actually trying to follow a coherent story.
Oh, okay.
Which
What?
I could see some people arguing is probably where it's gone to its like weakest. Though some of the stories are still good.
The problem is, right? The big problem is, well, actually, no. One more thing good. When they hammer in a joke, it's hilarious. They just do it in an amazing way.
Yeah.
When they hammer a joke over and over, because they up it even more to be more over the top and more ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's how they get it across. On top of like, and as I said, they're not afraid to tackle subject matter other shows wouldn't, but still do it in a funny, creative way.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the one like about the Jonas Brothers, like you had a giant flying Mickey like destroying town. It's like, and once again, Mickey is pissed off. Oh! Yeah.
You motherfuckers! Disney's taking over everything. Oh!
Yep.
But
Mickey Mouse, the voice of capitalism. It really is. Just buying everything.
I mean, at least Disney's going to do a good job with the majority of the things they've bought, though.
Oh yeah, no, they have.
Star Wars, it's a bit debatable, but at least the Clone Wars finale.
Oh yeah, no, they fucked up Star Wars recently in terms of the sequel trilogy.
Yeah,
which they've actually uncanonized now because of how bad it went. They actually uncanonized it.
Oh,
because it went that it was that bad. They actually
I didn't even realise they stopped it being canon. Bloody hell, that's crazy. That's mad.
I know. Like, you know, something went bad when they literally say, "Yeah, no, this isn't canon anymore. This is glorified fan fiction at this point."
Yeah, that is mad. I mean, Mandalorian and the Bad
Mandalorian
Batch,
apparently is very good. The Clone Wars was a really good cartoon.
Yeah,
should definitely talk about that at some point. I think the Clone Wars series.
I'll try and rewatch it one day, and then
it's very good.
Yeah, we'll need. I'll have to have Ben and Liam in for that one. That'll probably be like a whole podcast about Star Wars. Because I like having them on the Star Wars ones, as their knowledge is just, and obviously you as you've watched it, because like their Star Wars knowledge is amazing, man. They're like genius.
Hell yeah.
But a little bit more with South Park. Then you made a good point with a show that is really known for just being episodic. One episode, everything resets. Like, look, Kenny dies, the next episode he's back.
Cartman so they actually explain why that happens.
Yeah, because doesn't he keep getting reborn by his mom all the time?
Yeah, because they went to a satanic cult.
Yeah.
And, so at least they explained it.
Is that why he always
don't do episodic? I think it was just their way of explaining how he's always back after he dies each time, despite the gruesome ways he is killed.
I think that is a good way, because I think that's a good way to get us to like Kenny, because if his character was just doing nothing, you'd be like, oh, okay, and he's not talking or anything. But because he doesn't talk, and because it's all muffled, you feel bad that this character keeps getting killed in gruesome ways when he's actually an alright guy.
Yeah.
So that gives his character pretty good. It just makes you root for him, you know. I'm glad they don't kill him off anymore, because it just gets a bit old after a while.
Yeah, it's like after a while, you kind of hit the as much as you can do with it. It's like you can't really kill him off more than you already have.
Yeah. And other things like Randy Marsh will do something absolutely pistol mental, and then it will never be mentioned again. Cartman will do something mental and try and take over the world, never mentioned again. It's like a lot of shows, something mad happens and then it's reset. But the fact that they try to follow an episodic thing throughout a whole season, that you like the Gerald stuff, the Mr. Garrison stuff, trying to run for president, and
drugs are bad, okay.
And what else is there? The bloody Cartman with that woman. Cartman with that girl. Sorry. It just happens.
Oh yeah, Heidi.
Yeah. It's just over and over and over and over and over again the same thing, and it just doesn't work as a continuous story throughout a whole season. I mean, there aren't any comedies that do this, really, are there? So I don't really see the point of them. It was destined to fail anyway, probably. So after they did, because they did the PC Principle, which was funny, but they kept doing it over and over again. And then they had that whole storyline the year later. I watched a bit of Series 22 though, with Integrity Farms, as I said, and a few other little things here and there. But overall,
Like, have you seen the Pandemic special?
the one with the guinea pigs.
No, that's a different one.
Oh,
it's about I'm not going to say the word because YouTube banned the fucking thing, but you know what I think you know what it is.
like the C word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just said
You
it.
can't say the actual name because YouTube does not like that.
Oh crap! Well, I just said it then, but it was sort of muffled under your talking. I hope anyway. So
Yeah, we tried.
I mean, will the podcast get banned for that? Really?
I don't know.
I hope not. Well, the virus, let's say, instead of the C word. I mean, they can't ban you for saying it once, but whatever. The virus, they did. Oh, I haven't watched that special yet. Is it really funny?
Yeah, it's pretty good. We can watch it later at some point after yeah, we can try and watch it later. I don't know.
I might try and find it on Netflix maybe.
But yeah, it is actually quite funny.
Yeah. But that's only South Park's really big weakness, to be honest. Apart from that, it's a damn great show.
Oh yeah. Like South Park, like my rating for South Park is a solid 8. Because the show is, even in its lowest points, the show still has good jokes.
Yeah.
And even now, God knows how many seasons later, it still has good hits in its episodes.
Definitely. So, I'll give it probably like a 9.3 because it's been so consistent for all these years, and you've got to respect it for that. And it takes the mick out of everyone. A lot of it's quite funny. Animation,
that's another thing. As you said, it takes the mick out of everyone and everything. It pulls no punches.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is good because a lot of shows are too scared to take the mick out of certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just got South Park do you exist? All right, get ready for an episode on you.
But anyway, I guess we can wrap it up nicely there. Not the whole podcast because I've got a couple random topics.
Yeah.
So the first one is, what do you think of people who are adults but collect action figures or Lego or all this jazz? What do you think? I mean, I know you know that I like Lego, and I don't really build many sets anymore. I've got all the Lego I want for the Lego stop motions I'm doing on a different channel. But yeah, you know, what do you think of people collecting Lego and action figures and they're over a certain age?
Honestly, if you enjoy it, there's no harm in collecting it.
Hey!
Because in truth, no one ever fully grows up.
Exactly.
You just if you enjoy something, do it. As long as you're not if it's not inconveniencing someone else, then by all means do it if you enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day,
if you were collecting figures purely to harass someone else with, then you might need to look at your priorities.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing about Lego and action figures, as well, especially Lego, is that in and out the box, they're worth a lot in X amount of years because people love them so much. I mean, how many toys have a whole store dedicated to them? I mean, there's a few Lego
How many toys have a whole theme park dedicated to it?
Exactly, man. So it goes up in
as I said, you can do so much with Lego.
Yeah, and Lego stop motions. Look at all the people who've made massive Lego stop motions.
Oh,
and
yeah.
People of the films. They're an amazing way to make a shoestring budget film look amazing.
Yeah, and then you get the fun things where it's Lego is also probably one of the best house defense mechanisms. Just dot that shit over the floor and you'll put the fear of God into everyone.
Lego on the foot. Oh god.
There are a few things more painful.
Mm-hmm. You know, people who have a go at people for collect. The thing is, I think collecting Lego is good in moderation if you have the space and as long as you have some money in your bank account still. I think it's fine. I think it's also unhealthy if it comes to a point where say if your house is burning down.
If it comes to a point where you're actively financially sabotaging yourself for them, you might need to seek help. Like, it's okay to collect them as a hobby, but don't financially ruin yourself for them.
Exactly,
Because
man.
some people do take it that far.
It's ridiculous. And
It really
also,
is.
if your house is burning down, your number one priority probably needs to be your phone, because you'll need to call the police.
Yep.
So get your phone quick
I
as.
think your last priority should be the fucking figures
Yeah.
that you've been collecting.
Yeah, exactly. Depending on how bad the fire is, if it's a little fire but it's going to get bigger and you can't do, but say if you can't do anything to stop it, maybe if you've got, maybe try and get your wallet. But number one priority is family. Number two is your phone, so you can call the fire service, and number three is probably your wallet. Everything else does not matter at all. Everything else can. I mean, your phone can be replaced, but you don't want the fire to spread to other houses. If it's a choice between your life and your phone, leave your phone. Someone else will call the fire service. But you want to call them quick as, so try to get your phone if you can. But yeah, can I tell you this really funny story? Right. George said to me that he'd try and save as many collectibles as possible. George is fine with this because he's publicly talked about it on the podcast, and we've debated it in a calm, nice manner. What do you think, Scott?
If I had collectibles based on their value, maybe, because some collectibles are worth a fucking fortune if they're.
He's not doing it for that reason. He's doing it because they're sentimental.
Okay, I can understand the sentimental value, but there are more important things in the case of a fire than
they can all be replaced.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I understand the sentimental value if it's like close to someone. Then I can understand trying to get it, but don't make it your prime priority in the case you need to get the fuck out.
He said, obviously, I'm 99% sure he'd go and wake up the family in his house and then try to start getting things out himself. He said he'd even try and save his consoles, which is hilarious. It's like a Carl Pilkington type story, because I said, how would you get your consoles out then, George? And he said he'd throw them out the window through the neighbour's patio. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah. And I was like,
wouldn't that still break them, though?
So I was trying to say to him, and he said, well, sort of.
There's no point saving the console if you broke it yourself.
Exactly. And he said, oh, no, it can.
Like, if I can't break you, then nothing will break you.
Yeah. Sorry, just killing another bug.
That's
I'm going to keep this.
We're getting to that season of the year where they're starting to come out of their hiding spot.
Oh, is it dead? It's dead. Good. Oh, no. All right, then. Thankfully, I've got a beast. I won't cut this bit out because it's not taking that long, but thankfully, I've got a beast spider catcher. I think I showed it on a stream once, and George was like, what the hell are you doing this for? Like, what's the point of Oh, hold on, I've turned my camera off. What's the point of a spider catcher? But I think to myself, well, look at how it reaches so far. You can nearly catch it. Like, say if a spider's here, bam!
Yeah.
So useful.
It is, yeah. Because then you can, like, throw them outside or whatever.
Exactly, so I don't have to kill them as well, because I don't want
to... There's no point, like, killing them for just because they're trying to get out of the cold.
Yeah.
Like, and they're not inconveniencing you.
If it's ones
I wouldn't want a fucking tarantula roaming my house free of charge. Yeah. That shit would spook me out of nowhere constantly.
Mm-hmm. Thing is, right, you know those really big, bulky ones that run really fast?
Oh, the fucking ogre spiders.
Oh,
I know, fuck those. Those things are terrifying.
I pretty much, and the little ones that are quite bulky, I have to kill them. I'm so sorry.
Oh, sorry. You gotta kill those. Like,
but I do it as quick and as painlessly as possible.
But if I have say a tiny spider in the corner of my room on like its own little web, I tend to leave it because it's not doing anything to inconvenience me up there, and if it's keeping small bugs out my room. But if I have like one of those really big like hunting spiders that walks around, no, that shit's dying where it stands.
Yeah, but
I am not letting that thing walk away.
It's good to kill them as quick and as painlessly as possible. Get something hard and just smash them a bit hard with it.
Yeah, well, funny enough, spiders can't feel pain. Their brains aren't evolved enough to feel pain.
Oh, well, if I accidentally kill them harshly, I don't feel as bad then.
Yeah, spider, like insect brains in general aren't advanced enough to feel pain.
Oh, that's quite interesting then.
Yeah. Like, also, if you see the thing, but like they're withering a bit, like where their legs are still moving, those are actually their nerves playing up, like causing the legs to still move. It's not actually them feeling pain. It's actually their nerves reacting.
Yeah.
Fun little fact for you there.
Pretty interesting. But I was going to say though quickly, with what George said, I said, right, how would you get round? Like, you throw it through the neighbour's patio. First off, what if there's a neighbour there and it hits them on? I know this is, if there was a fire, it'd be early hours in the morning probably, and something accidentally happens. But what if it hits them on?
You'll be surprised. There are people out there who don't sleep.
Yeah, but say if they're chilling or sleeping in the patio, if that console hits them on the head, they've got a good chance of dying, or
or at least getting a concussion.
Yeah, or a concussion.
And then next thing you know, you're in court because you hit them in the head with a fucking GameCube.
But thing is, so I was trying to say that to George as well, and he was like, "Well, the thing is, if your dick was in a fire, you'd rescue it, wouldn't you?" And I was like, "What the hell?" I was like, "That's one of the worst." First off, if they somehow reattached, why would your dick be cut off and then in a fire? That makes no sense. First off, if they reattached it, it wouldn't work. And second off, and he said, "Well, your arm then." And I said, well, if it's a choice between me and my arm, I'm not going to... And if they reattach your arm, it might not work, but you've got more chance of your arm working. So if you have a chance to get your arm back, I suppose you go for it. But if it's a choice between you and your arm, you don't risk it.
Yeah.
But a little bit more about Lego. What do you think about people who say, like, people who are collecting Lego, babish, pathetic, rubbish, 1 out of 10. What do you think?
The age rating on Legos is 3 to 99.
Oh, hey! Ole, ole, ole. Yeah, bang on the money there. People are pathetic, though. Why do they have to have a go at people's interests, man? It's just like...
Honestly, it helps them. People who try and make other people, talk other people down and make other people feel down are trying to make themselves feel better about their own lives.
Yeah, about their insecurity.
And, they're trying to make themselves feel better about their own insecurities. And, I said something really good about that, on our Discord server when that got raided.
Yeah.
I remember I said a real thing there. They're raiding because they have nothing else to do with their sad, insignificant lives.
Exactly.
Than try and, ruin other people's things.
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
I've got a cheeky streaming... Oh, yeah, one last thing, though. And one other good thing about Lego, I've bought some sets to sell in years to come. I think that is such a good way to make money, like a little bit of pocket money on the side. Because the thing is, you see some of these scalpers and they're absolute scumbags because they're trying to sell technology for more than it's worth. And but Lego, once it's retired, it goes up in value because it's a collectible. While consoles, they don't go up in value because there's always new hardware.
I think it's one of those, they try and do it in the short moment when everyone's looking for a console. They get as many as they can and then sell them for more than they bought it for because people are in that much of a thing to get them.
Thing is, though, the only people who usually get away with it are people who charge it for 10 or 20 quid more, and it's a scummy profit. And why would you do it for that much? People who charge hundreds more don't
the best way to do it is honestly don't buy it from them because then they spend God knows how much money on all these consoles and they're making nothing back from it.
Exactly.
That is the best way to handle people who do shit like that is you don't buy it from them and let them suffer financially for it. But
that's a spot on point.
Yeah, because then they're gonna end up fixing that fucking mistake when they're suddenly struggling to get food for the week.
Exactly. Cheeky little streaming question though now.
Oh?
So you know how have I told you about Callum's Corner streaming career?
No, I don't think you have.
Basically, he gets money all the time. He gets $3 for a text to chat or $5 for a video to pop up. And the text to chat is sometimes just banter or music or other times really offensive stuff. And once he got donated £2,000. It wasn't with a bad thing, by the way, because the thing is, I think he refunds the money so say if someone says the N-word or F-A-G-G, on it and is really offensive, I think he refunds it. But I don't know if I would because it's their fault for saying something offensive and trying to get me banned. And I've played a bit of their message. It's their fault for having the N-word, isn't it? I've got another question after that, but I'm wondering what's your thoughts on that. Would you refund it? Or?
Sorry, can you just repeat real quick?
Oh.
Because I'm dragged to something else.
Sorry. Say if like someone donated £3 to you, and it had some normal talking, but then it had the N word in the middle of it. Would you accept the money, or would you refund it because it couldn't play the full message? Because obviously you'll get banned, and it's pretty nasty.
I would refund it because Twitch's policies are a bit like.
Oh, does Twitch have a go at you if you don't play it?
No, Twitch's policies on certain words are very fickle. Like the N word, for example, will actually get you in trouble with Twitch if you let that shit play out.
No, I'm not saying let it play out. I'm saying stop the message and accept the money.
Oh, honestly, I wouldn't want to accept the money from someone who's gonna willingly say that word. Like,
oh yeah, that's a good point, really.
Like, granted, you don't know what you don't know what skin color the guy is, because the thing is, like, if you're black, then you can get away with saying it because it shows the word doesn't have power over you anymore. If you're anything other than black and you say it, though, then no, you're just being a scummy human at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people. Well, I
So,
don't
yeah,
think
no, I wouldn't want to accept the money from someone who's going out there and
really
saying that word unless I know for a fact that they're of that color.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to make some sort of statement, but personally, man, I think no one really should say it because it's not a nice word, no matter what you look like.
No, I agree.
I think it's a nasty.
The only reason I say that those people of that color can get away with it is because they're showing that word no longer has power on them.
Yeah, but I still don't think it's
no one should be saying it.
Yeah, because it's not a nice. It's like
it really isn't a nice word, and honestly, it's linked to probably one of the worst things in human history, and that was slavery.
Yeah. So that's
I'm pretty sure America is still paying for even now.
But it's like if gay people call themselves the FAG. I don't agree with that. You know, I think it's just not a nice word. It's just not...
The funny thing about that word, it actually has several meanings.
Yeah, cigarette.
Yeah. For example, I'm gonna say it here. Fag actually means a pile of sticks.
Oh, I didn't know.
It's just people started using it as a gay slur.
Oh.
But the actual meaning is a pile of sticks.
Okay.
This is, if you look up the origins of the word, it straight up is a pile of sticks.
Mm-hmm. What was the other question I was going to ask, though?
Me saying that, though, I'm not trying to justify people saying that word.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that was where its origins, and then people turned it into a slur.
I don't mind people saying they're going to smoke an FA, like a packet of FA.
Yeah, like that. Like, for example, in that case, you know they're talking about a cigarette.
As long as you make it obvious, as long as you just don't say the word. It's like, if I'm going to smoke, I wouldn't say it personally.
Oh, yeah, same.
I'm going to smoke some, I'm going to go outside and smoke FAGs. I mean, you know, in America and Canada, it'd sound a lot different. It'd sound like, you know, people say, I'm going to smoke you, you know, so you probably get in big trouble. But in England,
America,
Wales, Scotland,
pretty bad for that, to be honest.
And the problem is they probably wouldn't believe you. They'd be like, no, it doesn't. You're just, how dare you?
Yeah. Like, I don't like ragging on America as much as I do, but they really are, like, they really do just refuse to listen to reason on so many things.
Yeah, I mean,
like, if you told them the origins of, like, that word, for example, half of them wouldn't look it up and the other half wouldn't believe you.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't, I mean, I've talked to American people, I've talked to people from all over the world, and
there's like the good few. It's just, when you look at them as a whole, they're kind of a joke.
Yeah, but you can say that for any country, though, really.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You can
look at any country and you'll find a fucking circus going on.
Yeah. But the other question I was going to ask you, though, bro, is, what's it called? Oh, yeah, so say, how much money would you accept if someone put horrible things in there? Say someone donates you £1 million, puts horrible... You have to play the whole thing to get the money. What do you think? How much money would it have to be for you to play it? I know this is, and feel free to say this question if you want. But
in truth, I wouldn't accept it if they're using it purely to say horrible things, regardless of the amount.
Even if it's 100 million?
Yes.
Bloody
even if it was 100 million.
You've got some mad resiliency, man.
I'm building my Twitch channel, and even though it's small, I'm building it as a welcoming place that people can come in, have a chat, and just chill and have a fun time.
Yeah.
I'm not building it as a platform for people to start throwing hate speeches.
Mm.
So no matter how much money you donate to me, if you're using it to spread a hate speech, you can have your money back.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I just wouldn't have text to chat. I just have. Have you seen what Ray does when he has, "I'm your dad, boogie, woogie, woogie, woogie," and all that jazz?
Yeah, I don't mean, yeah. Yeah, text to
I
chat
have
is a
stuff like-
fucking dangerous game.
I just have stuff like, "I'm your," well, I just make my
Yeah, I
own.
would just have a voice line.
Yeah, I just for $5, I'd have. Oh, thank you.
I think for my big donation one, I would just use that time I screamed in Resident Evil 3 when that zombie came out of nowhere and like fucking attacked me from behind.
Oh, man, I wish
Do you
I
remember
could.
that from the Resident Evil 3 remake?
Did you just sort of go like, ah?
And I said, "Oh, I think I like yelled, 'Oh, motherfucker!'" because like
think
it
I
came out of
remember that
nowhere and like attacked me.
That's quite smart, having the best moments from your streams as a high donation.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah, I
honestly, I would
personally-
just do that in general for donation. Just have them be quotable bits from my streams.
Thing is, though, man, can I just say that if it was me, I'd probably accept 1 million and above. Because the thing is, if you have 1 million, you can actually like help your family and help your friends who've stuck by you.
Oh
That's the way
yeah,
I see it.
I get that.
But I get why you wouldn't want to spread it. But at the end,
It's
it depends
one
how
of
bad
those-
the thing they're saying. If they're
It
just
comes
saying,
down to how bad do you need the money, and are you willing to stick to your principles for it?
the thing is though, right? If it meant me getting banned off Twitch, I'd probably deny it because I'd rather stream than
The
have
odds
1
are
million
it
quid.
probably would get you banned.
Oh,
off
yeah,
Twitch
so there's
if the whole message is a hate message.
Yeah, all right, then I'd have to say
You most
no,
likely
then.
would
Yeah.
actually get banned.
I'd have to say no to 1 million quid because I'd much rather have the legacy of the Twitch than
Yeah.
yeah.
But as I said, I don't really do
interesting.
Twitch for profit anyway. I do it for fun.
I remember you said, I think it was on the last one, you actually don't want it to get big, but if it does get
Yeah,
big,
I
you wouldn't
don't
be
want
too-
a big channel. I want a small to medium. It's more fun that way.
But I think you said you wouldn't mind if it got massive and you got
Oh
money.
yeah, I wouldn't
sort
mind
of.
it, but I'm not strictly aiming for it.
The thing is with your stuff, right? The good thing about your streams, as much as there are quite a few games on there that really aren't my cup of tea and I just can't struggle to pay attention to, but at least it's a good variety, like Ray Narvez Jr., what he does, and he used to be known as Brown Man. It's all sorts of different stuff on there, like bloody sometimes Overwatch, you've played Halo, Dead Space, Resident Evil, Walking Dead, SpongeBob Rehydrated, Monster Hunter, Smite. There's such a good variety on there, and so many streamers fall into the habit of just playing one game. As
They
we've
fall
said
into the
before.
streamer trap of they play one game and they're forced to play only that game.
Mhm.
It's a dangerous trap to fall into, and I've tried my damn hardest to avoid it.
I just always keep avoiding it, man, because at the end of the day, right, you I know it's really hard to get big that way, but once you get big, you can do what you want. There's more freedom. It's like having a YouTube channel just about one thing. If you don't talk about the one thing.
Look at Ninja. Ninja fell right into the streamer trap with Fortnite.
Yeah.
He played Fortnite because it was popular and it got a bunch of viewers, but he fell into the trap of if he plays anything other than Fortnite now, he gets like a third of the viewers.
Yeah.
Because the people weren't there for him, they were there for Fortnite.
Exactly. Thing is, though, you know how Ray got big? He was part of Achievement Hunter and Rooster Teeth, so a lot of people knew him anyway. But him playing anything and everything, obviously that's what got him the rest of the followers, and that's what kept his following.
It's what gets people to stay when they come for your content.
Exactly, because you can have like the biggest audience ever. You can have the biggest PewDiePie can say, "Go and check out this person's Twitch." If you don't have a good Twitch, they're not going to watch you, are they? They're just going to be like, well, there'll be a few you'll get a few fans. If it's PewDiePie, you'll get a few thousand fans stay, but you won't get like millions and hundreds of thousands of people. You probably, at best, you'll probably get, if your stuff's good, millions. If your stuff's shit, probably like 2,000.
Yeah, definitely.
So
there are people that will come by your stream because of the game you're currently playing.
That too,
but
yeah.
You'll know if they stayed for you or not based on if they show up for the next stream after, when you're playing something different. Which actually reminds me, I'm playing a new game for this stream.
Oh, cool.
So it'll be a fun one. And I'm as you know, Sunday we'll be finishing season 3 of Walking Dead.
Oh, nice.
And Tuesday, we are going to be starting the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy.
Yeah! Sorry. Oh, man. I can't wait to see your reaction to some of the hard levels. Did you ever play the Insane Trilogy years ago?
I have not.
Oh.
I have played some Crash games, but I never played the original 3.
They were the shit ones, weren't they? Like Attack on what's it called? Crash of the Titans.
Oh,
and
fucking Crash of the Titans and Mind Over Mutant. Yeah, those weren't good.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is, the Insane Trilogy.
I think the Crash games I remember playing from my childhood were Wrath of Cortex and Twinsanity.
Twinsanity's great.
Twinsanity is pretty good.
Wrath of Cortex, though, it's kind of below average, but nowhere near as bad as Attack on Crash of the Titans.
Yeah, Crash of the Titans and Mind Over Mutant. I did play those two as well, but I agree. Like, looking back at them, they weren't good.
Yeah,
they just weren't.
I can't wait for that Tuesday stream, man.
We're gonna be starting that.
I'm not really.
I didn't stream Tuesday this week because I was in quite a bit of pain.
Yeah.
Because my stomach pains have gotten worse again.
Oh god.
Yeah. So I'm potentially might have to go to the doctor again to get that looked at, which is gonna suck given everything else going on at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so I'll be starting that Tuesday.
I was gonna say I'm not really that hyped for the Walking Dead series 3 because I mean
Season 3 so far has been incredibly lackluster.
Yeah, you do your best as a streamer.
I've voiced my opinion on it throughout the stream.
Yeah.
To the point where I even tried to do 3 episodes in one just to get it over with faster.
Yeah. I mean, what annoyed me with Series 3 is that you start with a totally... Like, you know, in Series 1, right, Lee's on his own, then he gradually meets people and the story gets bigger. While you start off in a massive family with people, and then you go...
Also, the entire plot is built around this family drama.
Oh, man. I didn't really pay much attention to it, to be honest, but from what I saw, it was just so
basically, one of the main 4 characters is your stereotypical moody teenager who believes no one gets them, and you're stuck with him throughout the game. And the main driving plot point is this affair between your brother's wife and you. And it's like, that's literally the driving thing for the fucking story. Also, just all the characters are incredibly bland, other than Clementine.
Thing is, though, with the Walking Dead games, pretty much everyone's going to die at the end of the series. Okay. By the way, I'm not spoiling anything for Series 4. I'm just saying, like, everyone... you know that they can't keep characters for the next season, can they?
Oh, yeah.
Because otherwise they keep them around. Like, it's really weird, because, like, it's about you as a loner, and then you go to a new group. So, like, pretty much everyone dies in Series 2, apart from, like, Mike, Bonnie, whoever you pick to save at the end, and bloody Arvo. Unless he gets his comeuppance later, which I really hope
honestly,
he does.
My headcanon is that Arvo got caught by walkers, because with his limp, he was not getting far.
I think they all probably did, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, Mike could probably have made it.
I hope he did.
He was a fucking Superman.
He was quite bulky, wasn't he? And you'd imagine that he'd have good cardio, because he just looked hench, so you'd think he'd be able to get out of there better than
he did. But the thing is, Mike was also really nice as well.
Yeah, he deserves to
wasn't an asshole. He has very strong Lee vibes, but not quite the same level that Lee is at. But he has some of those vibes.
Lee would have stopped if a kid got shot. Mike just sort of got scared.
Yeah, but to be fair, after that shot, both Kenny and Jane came out as well.
Yeah.
And Arvo had already made a runner for it after he took the shot. Also, I pointed this out at the end, like in the last season 2. Arvo, for the entire of that last episode, is giving you the fucking stink eye.
I know, yeah.
And, like, it's clear he's going out of his way to try and, like, fuck you over.
Yeah, man.
Also, I just hate Bonnie. I voiced several times why I hate Bonnie.
Oh, she's just an absolute scumbag.
She is a fucking snake.
Yeah.
Like, she is a fucking, like, backstabbing, betraying piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, if you play the 400 Days DLCs, you know that she fucking is a snake.
Yeah, man.
If you just played Season 2, it'd be like, oh, okay, she's just looking to survive. No. You play the 400 Days DLC, she is a backstabbing piece of shit.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Crash ones because I'm guessing you'll just keep playing every week till you finish number 3.
I'll basically do what I'm doing with Walking Dead, where I'll keep playing it until I finished it. Also, apparently, Crash 4 is coming to PC soon, so I'll be able to do that as well. Yeah, it's coming to the Epic Games Store, so I can get that on that and play that.
One final thing though before I end it with the Crash thing, right? With Crash 2 and 3, once you complete both of those games, after you finish Crash 2, look up the legendary ending, the 100% ending. And
yeah, because I doubt
3,
I'm going to 100% them.
No, there's no point. There's no point. Especially Crash 1.
I'll look up the endings, yeah.
Yeah, but obviously...
I am not going to be 100%ing them. I am not that much of a gamer.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a lie, but...
But there's no point in sinking that much time in something when you're probably wanting to move on.
I think when I finish Walking Dead, I'm going to do the Hat in Time DLCs.
Okay.
And then I might move Crash to Sunday once I've done that.
Fair enough, man.
From Tuesdays.
Your choice.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, I guess we can wrap it up there.
Yeah, let's wrap it up here. I've got some other stuff I need to do today.
Yeah, the next one will be, hopefully, Simpsons Futurama, and what's that Enchantment series called? I think it's on Netflix.
Oh, Disenchanted.
I
have not actually seen that. No, I have not.
Would you be going for watching it for the next episode, or would you rather do something else? Or
I can try.
Oh, sick man. To be fair, though, there's been like you didn't know anything about Ed, Ed, and Ed. I mean, I didn't know anything about Ed, Ed, and Eddie really, so you took the floor on that one. So I can take the floor with Disenchantment.
Yeah,
really.
you can take the lead of Disenchanted.
But
I'll have to watch a bit of Futurama to rehash my knowledge on the endings.
Yeah.
And Simpsons, I watched the first couple of episodes recently, so.
Oh, cool. Well, that one should come along in like a month and a half, 2 months, whatever, or less, depends. So, yeah. Any final messages, Scott? Or
no, not really.
All right then. Well, everyone, have a good one, and see you.
All right, see you, everyone.